Hello, Riven mains and Yasuo mains alike. I'm the Nightwing, coming at you guys with another League of Legends video. So, we already know that Dignitas is trying to make their way back into the LCS, and it was rumored that they are going to be getting Clutch Gaming's spot. And today, just not so long ago, Dignitas merges with Clutch Gaming's LCS franchise. Clutch Gaming will now be featured under Dignitas' plethora of teams. After rumors swirled on the fate of Clutch Gaming in the LCS esports organization, Dignitas has announced that it has merged with the League of Legends franchise team. This merger represents the return of one of the first teams to join the North American LCS back in Season 1. Yes, Dignitas is a very old esports franchise. They were in other games, not just in League. They play CSGO. They have teams. They had a team in CSGO. I think they had players in Smash. I don't know if they still do. I did see Dignitas jerseys for Smash 4 or Melee when I went to EVO in 2018. So I know they have obviously other competitive gamers and other esports as well. So Dignitas was one of the 8 original teams in the North American LCS, and we're excited to welcome them back into the LCS. Commissioner Chris Greenlee said, "This combination with Clutch Gaming Ownership Group will elevate an already world-class organization, and we look forward to seeing great things from them going forward." And then you obviously have the post right here on Twitter. I'll leave this link in the description box below. The last time Team Dignitas was in the LCS, its roster had star top laner Someday, Keen, Shrimp, Altec, and Adrian. That was the last iteration of the roster. They had went through many other iterations of the roster. At one point, they had Xpecial and Laud. They ended up switching those guys out. Those guys ended up going to other teams. They had Chaser. If you guys remember from way back then, this roster had at one point I'm a Cutie Pie, Darshan, when he was called Zion Spartan. This organization is so much history here with League. At one point they got relegated, they came back as Apex, and then they got bought back in by Dignitas. This complete organization for League has been just so much history and ups and downs. They had a point in the playoffs in the 2017 summer split where they beat Cloud9. That was a pretty big upset right there for them. I think that's one of the few upsets they ever had in League of Legends. They had a period where they almost beat TSM for a semifinal. Like, they have the highest highs and the lowest of lows. And they even had Raz. Raz from the LPL was a coach on Team Dignitas. It's crazy, right? So this esports org has so much rich history with League. They were at one point trying to get back into Europe, to trying to get back into League. They really do want to be in League, as what the commissioner and the CEO have said. Now, Dignitas will return to the LCS, still rolling with the Clutch Gaming brand. It will be interesting to see if the organization will keep the current roster as is, especially with the lack of success the team has seen over the past year. "I'm incredibly excited that Clutch Gaming will join forces with Dignitas," said Sebastian Park, Clutch Gaming's vice president of esports. Dignitas is a legacy brand with deep roots in the LCS, and whose ambition and forward-thinking nature make it deserving of a return to the LCS. Clutch Gaming is running with a lineup consisting of Huni, Demonte, Cody Sun, Vulcan, and Lyra. This roster just went winless in the first week of the 2019 LCS summer split, but Dignitas staff will surely hope it can help grow a winning team in time for this split. Now, looking at every single thing that we've seen out of Clutch coming from now, it's very rooted in a lot of things. And, I'm not really going to get into specifics and stuff like that, because I'm not an expert in what goes on in specific teams. They come into the league, they come in getting Team Envious's roster. Remember, with Lyra, Apollo, and Hakuo, they bring over Febivin, and they bring over Solo. On paper, that's really not that strong of a roster, even though you're bringing over Febivin, who got All-Pro, EULCS mid laner, before he actually came over here. The roster has, the upset with TSM, obviously. They have that big high. And then right after that, when they face Echo Fox in that third place match, you just get this feeling that high they had just rode. And this is not only counting the, best of 5 they played against 100 Thieves during that that match to go to the finals, where they lost to 100 Thieves, and that's how you got the TL and 100 Thieves final. Is that after that 100 Thieves series and you get into that third place match, you just feel like the roster lost all of its steam. It's like their mental capacity just collapsed. Then after that, they go into the summer split. They have a decent showing at the start, but they later on just collapse. And then after that, you come into this split. You come into the split that we just had in the spring. Then you really don't get much from them. Like, they get a few wins here or there. Coming into that spring split, people were like, yeah, this looks like a pretty good roster. They had took pieces from the Echo Fox roster in DeMonte and Hooney, which were really, really solid strengths. You had Piglet and Vulcan performing pretty average to decent in the academy scene. Then you had, they brought over Lyra. Obviously, they kept him because they wanted to build a team around him. And you're like, okay, this team has pieces to be a playoff team. Completely just a train wreck from week 1 all the way to week 9. It is a train wreck for these guys. And then coming into, this split, they upgrade their bottom lane in bringing in Cody's son, who I think is right now a upgrade over Piglet. I think Piglet has been pretty much washed up, all things considered, so right after that, their team goes 0-2. The same issues are popping up. I don't know if it's coaching staff or or if they don't have a sports psychologist, or if they obviously don't have a strategic coach. Something is missing on the roster that they don't have enough pieces to win a League of Legends game. And I think it's very visible that people who are actually running the Clutch Gaming's org right now for League and or whatever other esport they're a part of right now just really aren't doing it correctly in terms of what the League team needs. You have these pieces that don't fit together because on paper they all should work, but if these guys aren't on the same page, then it's not really going to matter. That's just the point of it, Dignitas, when I last heard of what they were doing for, in terms of getting partners and branding and stuff like that, they had got the Bucks as a partner way back in spring 2017 is when they had the Bucks, and they had said that they're very much still partnered with the big basketball brand that sponsored them way back then. And right now it just doesn't look like Clutch is going to do anything, and that's where Dignitas can step in after, being kicked out of the LCS and, learning what it's like to actually hold a team together. Because remember, Dignitas, I'm not going to lie, did not have a pretty ride through the LCS. A bunch of splits we saw them, we saw a bunch of bumps in the road, the coaching staff always switching up. And, right now, I think that combining them is actually the better fit, given the fact that you'll have, the veteran esports org coming into the newer one, and with them merging, I think that they're going to be able to bring some level of foundation to get them to actually be at that better rate, because it's just not showing it right here. Even last split, bringing in Piglet and stuff like that looked like they were kind of trolling, because you look at some of those academy games from that bot lane, you're just thinking to yourself, really? It's just like, like, I really want them to do well. Like, I'm not a Clutch Gaming fan at all. I am a C9 and G2 fan to death. I love those teams, but I don't like when teams are doing bad, because it reflects on the rest of the league. You look at Cloud9, TSM, TL, they do well, and then you have some spurts of another team doing well, like FlyQuest at certain points will do well, and then you have like CLG randomly during splits doing well. That's like 5 teams. There are 10 teams in the league, so if only 5 do well, the other half are bad. So that means the league is 50-50, meaning the league is bad, because getting a 50% score on a test in school is an F. And, randomly people are going to say to me, well, what about 100 Thieves? 100 Thieves have been a train wreck ever since the spring finals of 2018. They have just, if you want to count that third place match, go ahead, because that looked atrocious too in the summer split of last year. they have been a train wreck. Look at 100 Thieves now. They're a train wreck. And, hopefully they fix all their problems. But, yeah, Dignitas and Clutch are merging together. And I hope this works. Because, seeing players like Huni, DeMonte, Lyra, Cody's son, be in this rut is not what you expect. So that's just something that you just don't want to see. You want to see the league prosper. You want to see the league doing well. And with all these big sponsors, these big basketball organizations, these other big name brands coming into the league, that you want to see a championship built, and you don't just want to see Cloud9, TSM, Team Liquid, always make it, because that means that what the other 7 teams are doing is not working. That's realistically what that means. So yeah, I'm a Cloud9 fan, and I always want them to do well, but I want them to be challenged by not just their rivals TSM and Team Liquid. I would like another team to enter that fray, whether that's Golden Guardians, FlyQuest, 100 Thieves, doesn't matter. They should be building towards, actually fighting these teams. And realistically, if you want to count out TL, because they kind of only more recently just started doing well. I mean, if you want to look at those relegation splits they had, I'm not trying to be mean, but you gotta look at those. It's really just realistically, if you want to challenge, let's just say C9 and TSM, because you feel like you can kick out TL, you gotta do something. And it's not just about money. It's not just about any of that. You have to build correctly from every stage up to the point of, having a lot of money. So, it's not just about throwing money at players. It's about, building the correct foundation for players to succeed. All right. And there's a few more stuff to go over. Actually, you have Misfits Gaming running a 10-man roster. Misfits Gaming to run a 10-man roster for the 2019 LEC Summer Split. Misfits Gaming fall from grace during the 2019 LEC Spring Split was a sudden and unexpected. Many fans and analysts put the team as a possible LEC title contender after the acquisitions it made during the offseason. As a result, Misfits has brought up its academy in order to run a 10-man roster for the upcoming Summer Split. Changes were necessary for a group that was touted as a super team before the year began. After finishing in 8th place with an 8-10 record, it was clear that the team lacked synergy and good decision making, especially in the mid game. And then they post obviously on Twitter, their link. By bringing in the same roster, the team risked running into those same problems. But once again, bringing in the academy team should help. Misfits Premier is coming off a great tournament at the 2019 Spring European Masters, where they only lost 2 matches on their way to a European Masters Championship. One of the stars of the Misfits Academy roster was Neon, who won 5 MVP of the Game Awards during their winning European Masters run. Teammate Lighter was close behind with 3 awards to his name. Misfits couldn't live up to the expectations last season, even with the additions of star players like Febivin, Gorilla. By adding these young but budding new talents, Misfits could find success it has been craving for. With Misfits, there's a lot to say personally. I think me and JTH have obviously gone over that quite a bit. But if I'm looking at them coming into this split, you have to look at certain things and go, why didn't it work? Is it basically like people just don't understand this in League, and I don't know why this is so frustrating, and I don't know why it's such a big thing to people when they don't understand why super teams don't work. Okay, super teams at certain point don't work because players, even though they are really, really good individually, sometimes don't see the game the same way. I'm not going to go into specifics about that because each person is different, and that's kind of what it leads into as to why I don't want to go into specifics. Because, 2 things. Pretend you're playing with your friends, and I'll just use myself as an example. When I play with JTH and my other friend, Mago, and the other dudes we have, Smooth Balter, you guys don't know these people, obviously, but I'm just giving you an example, right? Whenever we play, we do not see the game the same way. I see the game as, I want to smash my lane, roam, and get kills. They're always focused on, macro play and objectives, which is all perfectly fine. Everybody has the right idea. It's just that putting it all together is what's the hard part. I'd imagine a lot of super teams go in going, okay, we have a bunch of star players, we should be winning a lot of games. That's not how it works, because one player is going to see something totally different than another player. Smeb talked about that in one of his interviews with Ashley Kong about why KT Rolster had such a hard time ramping up between 2017 to summer 2018 for the LCK, because him and Mata did not see eye to eye on a lot of things. What if the players just don't see eye to eye? I'm not saying they don't get along outside of the game. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, in game, when one person wants to do something, what if someone's like, no, we should do this? That's where it starts clicking, because obviously Misfits, like a super team will, in the first couple of weeks, have their little honeymoon phase. They're winning a couple games. Sometimes it looks like they're running it down mid. It doesn't really matter, right? Once you run into speed bumps with super teams, that's when you start noticing why they have clear problems, why people rank them at certain places. That there was a reason why people had them lower than G2, lower than Fnatic, because people knew these players' personalities probably wouldn't obviously go together. They literally switched out a coach mid-split, for their older coach that obviously got them to Worlds at one point during 2017, and then Misfits just really haven't done anything since then. They make the right decisions, but it never really comes together, because they always seem to fail based off a ton of things. It could be coaches, the players just not living up to expectation, and that's just how I see it. So I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. Let me know what you think about Dignitas merging with Clutch, and let me know what you think about Misfits Gaming running the 10-man roster for the 2019 LEC Summer Split. See you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe. Most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing signing out. See you guys later. Bye. Have a good day.